Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I wanted to summarize the main points in a book that I read recently that I really enjoyed. It's called So Good They Can't Ignore You, written by Cal Newport. So let's get into it. Follow your passion is advice that's given to young people constantly. Cal Newport's book, So Good They Can't Ignore You, starts out with building the argument that follow your passion is terrible advice. He says that compelling careers often have complex origins that reject the simple idea that all you have to do is follow your passion. For example, Steve Jobs is someone who was known to be passionate about his work, and he famously gave a graduation speech that got millions and millions of views, where he says, do what you love. However, if you look at Steve Jobs' story, he didn't actually follow his passion. When Steve Jobs was young, he actually was really into different philosophies and different religions. When he dropped out of college, he spent time living as a hermit, and after a while, he kind of got tired of that life and decided to go into tech, more so to just make some cash than really any passion for technology. He was even fired from a tech startup because he wasn't interested in his work. The way that Apple started is that Steve Jobs pitched a business idea to his friend Steve Wozniak, where he said, let's sell these personalized computer kits. Their idea was that it would be like a side venture where they would make max $1,000 of profit, and that was really all. However, this is actually how Apple got started, and if Steve Jobs had followed his passion, Newport argues that he would be a teacher of Zen Buddhism instead of founding Apple, a company that changed the world. Newport concludes that the advice, follow your passion, creates much more stress than actual value. The idea of following your passion puts unnecessary pressure on finding the perfect job, something that doesn't exist, something that you actually have to work towards. He also argues that passion and interest change as people age, so it doesn't make sense to think that following your passion is going to be good advice and finding a career that you will enjoy long term. Newport argues hard work doesn't follow passion. Passion actually follows hard work. And when I read this, I really thought that it really makes sense. The first time you try anything, you probably suck at it and it's probably not enjoyable, but the satisfaction comes in approaching a challenge and overcoming it. And follow your passion is not good advice. What is? In the rest of this book, Cal Newport dives into that. Cal Newport argues that to find work that you love, you should first adopt a craftsman mindset. Fulfilling and amazing careers are rare. To get those careers, you need to build rare and valuable skills. Skills that can be valuable in the workplace and in the world. This is a direct quote from the book. If you're not focusing on becoming so good they can't ignore you, you're going to be left behind. This clarity is refreshing. It tells you to stop worrying about what your job offers you and instead worry about what you're offering to the world. This mindset, which I call the craftsman mindset, allows you to sidestep the anxious questions generated by the passion hypothesis. Who am I? What do I truly love? And instead put your head down and focus on becoming valuable. Cal Newport discusses the stories of world-class musicians, chess players, and more, and finds that they engage in something called deliberate practice. He compares himself, who started playing the guitar at a very young age, to a world-class guitar player. He notes that when he was young, he would play songs that he enjoyed playing, that were fun to play, and he would practice the same few songs so that he could perform them really well. However, this famous world-class guitar player, he spent hours and hours not practicing songs that he knew well and wanted to be better at performing, but actually practicing more and more challenging pieces. Instead of playing the stuff that he knew well and he knew he was good at, this talented musician constantly pushed his boundaries. This work is hard and challenging and occurs outside of your comfort zone, but this is the kind of work that it takes to master and be really good at a skill, and you can trade these skills to gain a career you love, and that is what Cal Newport discusses in the next part of this book. So once you've built some rare and valuable skills through adopting a craftsman mindset, Cal Newport argues that you now have something called career capital, which you can use and leverage to get work that is super fulfilling. Fulfilling careers tend to have common traits, and that is allows the person to be creative, allows the person to have autonomy, and allows the person to have or feel like they're having an impact on the world for the better. Once you build these skills, you can negotiate more autonomy in your work. Newport gives example of a software engineer who has a really great schedule and really enjoys her work. She started out by becoming really great at her job. Then she started negotiating with her boss to allow her to be able to work 4 days a week. Later, she started working in consulting and working freelance. That way she could choose her own projects that she wanted to work on. While the software engineer was gaining more and more freedom in her work, one of the projects that she was on, the company she was working with actually tried to hire her full-time instead of just as a contractor, and they offered her, a better salary, a lot of advantages, but she said no because she wanted to have autonomy in her job. Newport discusses that gaining control of your career invites resistance because the only person that autonomy is going to benefit is you. It's not going to help the company. So Newport says it's important to keep in mind what you want out of your career and not be distracted by all these other offers that other people will give to you. The last part of Cal Newport's book discusses a unifying mission, where he talks about how gaining a unifying mission to your work takes time and experimentation to find that unifying mission. Newport ends the book by discussing how he himself is planning to use all these arguments he's built in this book and apply it to his own career. I thought that was a really good way to end the book because it makes the reader, you, think about how you can apply this to your career as well. Alright, so that was my book summary. I hope you guys learned a little bit about this book and maybe decide to read it and give it a go. Alright, take care everyone.